Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So this is going to be one of the worst cases of tyranny that I have seen in America in my lifetime. Not only are we talking about a massive new gun control package, but there is an amendment within this package that basically stops all legal challenges. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on. This channel is proud to be sponsored by the USCCA. Absolutely one of the best memberships you could ever have in your wallet. As a member, you get that self-defense liability insurance. So if you're ever put in a situation where you're forced to defend yourself with a tool, all you have to do is call that 24/7 emergency hotline number on the back, and they will get somebody right out there to represent you and to speak on your behalf so you don't get yourself in any extra trouble. They also have online education, training, reciprocity maps, and so much more. So join the USCCA with that link below today. Let's get into it. So you guys might remember I've made several videos talking about Oregon's Measure 114, an absolutely terrible piece of gun control. Measure 114 was voted on by the people and it passed by an extremely slim margin, less than 1%. As a matter of fact, it was only 0.7% that got Measure 114 through. Now, thankfully, because of the GOA and others, Measure 114 has pretty much been held up in court on procedural grounds, on funding grounds, and obviously on Second Amendment and constitutional grounds. So 114 has not been fully implemented since it was passed last year. Now that's great news, but it's not great news to the gun controllers who decided to come up with Senate Bill 348, which not only mirrors Measure 114, but expands on Measure 114. And that's not even the worst part. That's not even the whole reason I'm making this video. One of the biggest reasons I'm making this video is because the amendment that was added to it right before it passed the Senate committee. So one of the amendments that was added to this new Measure 114, which is Senate Bill 348, is an amendment that says that if you're going to challenge 348, you can no longer pick and choose what county you're challenging it in. So in the past, if you wanted to challenge it in, let's say, Harney County, where the Measure 114 is currently being challenged, you couldn't do that anymore. They will force you to go through Marion County, which is, you know, the main county, the most liberal county, the county that voted for this in the highest numbers. So if there is a future challenge to this legislation, if it passes, they will force you to go through their judges. Basically, we're talking about a hand-picked county by the legislature, and you're almost a guaranteed fail at that point. So with that being said, let's talk real quick about 348 and exactly what it does. So like I said before, it mirrors Measure 114. So everything that you would expect to see in Measure 114 is going to be there. One of the things that was changed is they're going to give it until 2024 so that sheriff's departments and other offices have time to come up with the funding and the procedures in order to issue the permits that are going to be required if you want to purchase anything. So they're giving it a little bit more time, but guess what? They're also going to be increasing the fees. So the original fee to get a permit was going to be like $65, but under 348, they want to increase the money that's going to go to these different departments. So they're now going to charge you $150 to get that permit, $150. Then if you want to get a renewal, the renewal is still going to be $110. So we're talking about $150, and then after it expires, another $110 just to get a permit to practice a right, which really just makes it a privilege, because if it can be granted and taken away by the government, then is it really still a right? No, it's not. It's not a right anymore at that point. They basically eliminate the Second Amendment with this bill or with Measure 114 in the state of Oregon. But this bill still does the things that you would be expecting from Measure 114. It gives you that permit to purchase, but charges you some more money, raises the age limit, still bans magazines. It still does everything that we were expecting from Measure 114, but it kind of expands on it a little bit, and it also clarifies it a little bit as well. So it's still the same, pretty much the same bill, but they're trying to put it through the state legislature and trying to pass it into law that way. And with this amendment, you won't be able to go to one of the more conservative counties and file a challenge to it. You'll have to go through Marion County. So you'll have to go through those judges first. Obviously, if those judges don't side with the Constitution, you can always appeal it and it'll go to a higher court and you can take it all the way to the top if you want. But what they're doing is they're basically cutting out any chance that you might have at an injunction. So any chance that you might have that, a hold would be placed on implementation of This bill, like the hold was placed on the implementation of 114, they're going to go ahead and control all aspects of that. They don't want you to have an injunction. They don't want you to have a hold. They don't even want you to have a partial injunction. The way to guarantee that that doesn't happen is to put it through the most liberal court in the entire state. If you can do that, you're almost guaranteed, at least at step one, implementation is going to take place. An injunction will not be upheld. There's no way to put a stop to something or put a stop to 348 if this amendment is allowed to stay in there and it passes with this amendment in place. So now you have the gun controllers who are so unhappy that Measure 114 is being held up, that they're just going to go ahead and force their own will upon you, choose what court you can fight this back in, and basically control all aspects from the passage of the bill and thereafter with 348. So this is absolutely terrible what Oregon is doing, and it shows you they don't really care about the will of the people. They don't really care about the Constitution and what's right. What they care about is getting this passed by any means necessary, even if it means stepping on every one of your rights on the way to getting it done. That's what Oregon is doing here with 348. 348 has passed the Senate committee. It will more than likely pass through the Senate and the House and be signed by the governor. We know that the Attorney General is pushing for this pretty hard over there, but I wanted to let you guys know about that, because picking a county, which is something that's been done since this country was formed, isn't all that odd. I mean, it's done in just about every state. If you're trying to fight something, you go to a specific county that's friendly to your cause, you file it there, and you go from there, right? You work through the process beginning in a county that's friendly. So shopping for a county is not a new concept whatsoever, but Oregon is looking to put a stop to that and impose this gun control bill by any means necessary. So again, I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on there. It's absolutely terrible, but we just got to stay on top of it and see, where it moves from here. But I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.